Really. When the storms in this life that you will eventually have to face rise up to show its face, and the rains and the wind starts to blow in your face, and you begin to become afraid of what you're facing, with your eyes gazing, head dazing, hearts racing, hands shaking, body aching, and behind you pacing himself is Satan, and he's patiently waiting for your faith to be shaken, and it feels like that you won't be able to shake him. I challenge you to look deep down inside of you, to find the courageous spirit inside of you that will encourage you to have the courage to rise to the occasion. Embracing every opportunity that comes your way and taking the necessary steps to become better as a person each day, and making the most of every positive as well as every negative situation, and all the while never ever forgetting to forever reject Satan, but always remembering to keep God first, because his powers are simply amazing and they can't be duplicated nor imitated, and can't even be fathomed with the widest stretch of the wildest imagination. But always remember to stay in prayer, because if you don't, the enemy will try to find a creepy way of creeping in, because he wants to destroy your life with a plan to lie and scheme. And take him seriously, because he's real. He's not fake. Trust me when I say this. There is nothing animated about this Lion King. See, his plan is to present to you a discussion and try to get you to submit to his instructions, but if you don't listen to him, he'll probably start screaming and fussing. But then God will step in like, Satan, pardon me in my brief interruption, but you need to stop with all the screaming and fussing, because you're not going to get my child to submit to your instructions, so you really need to stop with this inconvenient discussion. See, phase 1 of Satan's plans won't work. So he'll attempt to advance by moving to phase 2, but I advise you to stay grounded in your faith and stay close to God, because when you do, neither phase of Satan's plans will ever have a chance to phase you. He'll try to aim at you, then shoot his plans at you like a bullet from a gun, but when he pull it, don't run, because neither of the bullets from the shots that Satan shoots at you will ever have a shot to graze you. Just stand still and let God fight all of your battles, and I promise you, he'll never cease to amaze you. And as a matter of fact, his sudden actions will cause a sudden reaction in you that'll make you pause and be like, wow. Every time that he comes through, then reach out his hands to save you. And even though he always saves you, Satan will still try to hurt you, but you can choose not to let him abuse you. He will try to find the time to get inside your mind, to put thoughts in your head that shouldn't exist, but you can resist and choose not to let him confuse you. He wants you to forget who Christ is when you're going through a crisis, but Christ lives, and Christ gives you the strength to make it through any situation, regardless how big the fight is. So instead of looking at God and telling God how big your situation is, just look at your situation, then tell your situation how big your God is, and that you already have the victory. And you don't have to worry about any fabricated lies, partial truths, or false news the enemy tries to present to you in the future, because it's already history. Just make a stand to never stand deceived by his story. Instead, make a stand and stand for Christ. Have faith in him and let him control your life. Then stand up with your hands up and give him all the glory. And I know you remember the story of how we were all on a head-on collision course with death. And at the velocity we were traveling, it was going to be a terrible wreck. But except for us, Christ made the choice to stand in and intercept by choosing to take the wreck all upon himself. Now, some people may look at this intervention like it was something that he was supposed to do, which is not true. He did it because it was something that he chose to do because he loves you. Now, with that said, here's what I propose to you. Take Christ with you in every situation you face in this life, because if you do, here's a short list of the things that he'll do for you. He'll take your worst situation and flip it. And for the mountain that's in front of you, he'll take it and shift it. And for the burden that's on your back, he'll grab it and lift it. And for the door that's been closed on you your whole life, he'll grab the doorknob and twist it. He'll walk with you tomorrow just like he's walking with you today. And when you feel like you're getting weak and you can't go any further, he'll pick you up and carry you the rest of the way. I mean, nothing is too hard for him. Just think. He carried the hurt as he carried the shame. He carried the burdens as he carried the pain. He carried the convictions people placed on him even though he had not committed any crimes. He even carried Peter after Peter denied him 3 times. He carried the scars that was caused by the whip. He carried the blood as it dripped from his lips. He carried the gash that was caused by the spear as it was pierced through his hips. See, he promised that he would die and give death company for 3 days. But he also carried a promise that said, from death we shall be saved, which explains why, after 3 days of being left alone, he left death alone, got up and rolled back the stone and disturbed the peace by the way he peacefully carried himself from the grave. See, he came to this world. He was born into this world. He was raised in this world, persecuted in this world. He lived in this world, then he died in this world. And he still took the whole world on his back. And instead of looking back, he stayed focused and did what he came to do. Yeah, he could have saved himself from death, but instead he decided to save you. So just know, whenever you're facing this situation, don't trip. Know that you can always make it through. And whenever things get too hard to handle or too unbearable, don't try to point at God, lead him in the right direction, tell him where to go, or tell him what to do. Just surrender and let him carry you.